The first scream didn't even sound human. It tore through the quiet diner like metal scraping against glass. Mara Kendi froze, broom still in her hand, her heart pounding so loud she felt it in her teeth. The lights above flickered once, twice, then steadied, revealing a man stumbling through the door, clutching his side, blood dripping between his fingers. "Mara, run," he gasped. It was Professor Tay. Before she could move, two masked men burst in after him, their footsteps heavy, their breaths sharp and violent. One grabbed a chair and flung it aside. The other pointed a blade at Mara. "Where is it?" he snarled. Her breath hitched. She had no idea what he meant. Professor Tay shoved something cold and metallic into her palm, a small silver capsule with a blinking blue strip. "Hide it," he whispered. "Or you die. They'll kill you. They'll kill everyone." Then he collapsed. Mara didn't even get to scream before one of the masked men lunged. She stumbled back, hitting the counter behind her. Her fingers tightened around the capsule. She didn't know what it was, but she knew one thing. If she dropped it, she was dead. The attacker reached for her hair. And suddenly a hand grabbed his wrist and twisted it so fast Mara heard the bone snap. The masked man screamed. The second one turned, but the newcomer was already moving, fast, silent, deadly. In 3 motions, he disarmed him, smashed his head into the counter, and sent him crashing to the floor. Mara pressed her back against the wall, her whole body trembling. The man turned to her. Tall. Sharp jawline. Cold eyes that looked like they were carved from winter. Black gloves. Black coat. Not a single drop of blood on him despite the chaos he'd just created. He looked at her hand. "Give it to me." Mara clutched the capsule tighter. I don't know who you are." He stepped closer. "I wasn't asking." Her knees shook but she lifted her chin anyway. "No." For a second, she thought he was going to take it by force. Instead, he sighed and murmured, almost annoyed, "You're going to get yourself killed tonight." He grabbed her wrist. The capsule let out a high-pitched beep and locked itself to her palm like a magnet. The man froze. Mara's voice shook. What did it just do?" He stared at her, jaw tight. "You're joking." "I'm not." He muttered something in Korean, low, frustrated, then pulled out a compact scanner from his coat and tried to touch it to the capsule. It rejected him immediately with a sharp buzz. "It's keyed to you now," he said. "Biometric pairing." His eyes narrowed. "You just became the most hunted person in Daehyun City." Mara's throat tightened. "Why? What's in it?" He didn't answer. Instead, he grabbed her arm hard enough to pull her forward and whispered, "We're leaving. Now." She tried to yank away. "Let go. I don't trust you." "You don't have to trust me," he snapped. "You just have to stay alive. Move." A sound echoed outside, the screech of tires. More men. The stranger dragged her toward the back exit. "Who are you?" she whispered. "Ginrock," he said without looking back. "And if you want to live, keep your mouth shut and follow me." They burst into the rain-soaked alley. Neon signs flickered above them, glowing blue and pink against the streaming wet pavement. Mara's heart hammered faster with every step. "What did Professor Tay give me?" she pressed. "Later." "You're not answering." "Later." He suddenly shoved her against a wall just as gunshots erupted behind them. Splinters of brick exploded beside her head. Mara covered her ears and screamed. Jin-Rok crouched low, grabbed her hand, and pulled her into a narrow side passage. "Stay close to me. I don't even know you. And yet I'm the only one keeping you alive," he growled. They kept running, turns, corners, staircases, until they reached a section of the district where steam rose from the saw grates and night market vendors shouted across stalls. Ginrock stopped abruptly and pinned her with a cold stare. "What did the professor tell you before he died?" Her breath shook. He said they'd kill everyone." "That's not helpful." "He gave me this and told me to hide it." Jin-Rok exhaled sharply, frustration evident. "Of course he did." Mara's eyes burned with tears. "He was my mentor." For a moment, just a moment, something softened in Jin-Rok's expression. Then shouts echoed behind them again. Mara flinched. "How many people are after us?" If you keep talking, all of them. He grabbed her hand again. Come on. They blended into the crowded street. Night market smoke mixed with the smell of grilled fish and rain. Vendors glanced up but didn't pay attention to the two of them weaving through the chaos. Mara's voice trembled. What's in the capsule? Ginrock hesitated. For the first time since they met, he actually answered. Proof, he said quietly. Evidence of a network you don't want to know about. What kind of network? He looked down at her, eyes dark. The kind that makes people disappear. Mara's breath caught in her throat. Disappear how? Exactly how you're imagining. Her stomach twisted. Professor Tay, he had been investigating missing African migrants. Students. Workers. People like her. This is because of that, she whispered. Because of him. Ginrock nodded. And now because of you. They slipped behind a row of shuttered stores, the crowd noise fading behind them. Mara leaned against the wall, panting. I didn't ask for this, she said. No one ever does. She flinched at the coldness in his voice. Why are you helping me? She asked. Because keeping you alive keeps me alive. That's not an answer. It's the only one you're getting. He took a small device from his coat, a compact phone jammer, and switched it on. A faint buzz filled the air. Mara noticed something then, a thin scar across his cheekbone. His jaw clenched when he realized her eyes lingered. What? He asked. Nothing. He scoffed. You're terrible at lying. And you're terrible at explaining. His mouth twitched barely, but enough that she saw it. Annoyed amusement. A sudden metallic click echoed behind them. Ginrock reacted instantly. He grabbed Mara and pulled her behind a dumpster just as bullets ripped through the wall where they were standing. Mara screamed and covered her head. Ginrock wrapped an arm around her, shielding her. Mara, he whispered. Listen to me. She shook uncontrollably. I don't want to die. You're not going to. You don't know that. Mara, look at me. She forced her eyes up to his. I'm getting you out of this, he said. But you need to trust me. Footsteps approached. Jin-Rok pulled out a knife with one hand, still holding her with the other. You're going to run when I say run. Mara swallowed hard. Okay. Good. Because they won't stop coming. She whispered, voice cracking. Why? He leaned close, his voice low and grim. Because you're holding a capsule that could bring down a criminal empire. Mara felt her world tilt. And now, Ginrock added, they need you dead. The footsteps grew louder. Ginrock loosened his hold and whispered, run. Mara sprinted before her mind could catch up with her legs. Her shoes slapped against the wet pavement as she pushed through the narrow gaps between crates and metal barrels. The rain blurred the neon lights into streaks of pink and blue, and every breath tasted like fear. Behind her, she heard Ginrock's footsteps collide with someone else's, then a grunt, then a crash. She didn't dare turn around. Keep running, Ginrock shouted. She stumbled, caught herself, and pushed harder. The capsule in her hand pulsed, as if reacting to her fear. She almost threw it away right there, but she knew that if she did, she was dead before it hit the ground. Two men appeared ahead of her, blocking the exit of the alley. One lifted a gun. Mara skidded to a stop. No, no, no. A hand yanked her backward, Ginrock. He spun her into a side alley she hadn't even noticed. Don't stop unless I tell you to, he barked. You said run, where am I supposed to run to? Anywhere that's not in the direction of bullets. That's terrible instructions. He gave her a sharp look. You're alive. Aren't you? Another burst of gunfire echoed behind them. Mara flinched and ducked. Ginrock grabbed her hand tighter. Move. They rushed through a maze of alleys until the city noise finally swallowed the gunshots. They emerged into a wider street where music thumped from a club, and a few drunken students were laughing loudly. Mara's chest heaved. Are we safe? Ginrock didn't answer. His eyes were scanning every shadow, his shoulders stiff, his jaw locked. That told her everything. No, she whispered. We're not. He tugged her toward the club entrance. In. Now. She followed reluctantly. Inside, neon lights pulsed in sync with the heavy bass. Bodies moved on the dance floor, faces melting into the darkness. The noise was overwhelming. "What are we doing here?" she asked. "Hiding in plain sight." Mara grabbed his sleeve. "You said the capsule is evidence." "Evidence of what?" His jaw tightened. "You want the truth?" "Yes. You won't like it." "Tell me." He leaned close, his breath brushing her ear. "Your professor found out what the Gwalrim Syndicate is doing with African migrants. Why they bring them here. Why some never arrive at their promised jobs. Why some disappear from the airport before they step outside." Mara felt her stomach churn. Disappear? How? Trafficking. Forced labor. Some get shipped out again. Some get sold right here. And the professor got the documentation, the names, the routes, the payments. Enough to burn the whole network down. Her throat tightened painfully. "And I'm holding that evidence." "You're holding the only copy." Her eyes widened. "The only one?" He nodded. "Which means if they kill you, it's gone forever." A cold, sharp grief hit her. Professor Tay used his last breath to give this to her. And she didn't even know. "I should have run sooner," she whispered. Ginrock shook his head. "You ran when you had to." "No. I should have saved him." His expression softened just a little. "You can't save the dead, Mara." He rarely said her name. It stung more because of that. "You can only save yourself," he continued. "And maybe a few others, if we get that capsule out." She looked up at him. "Why are you helping me? Really?" He didn't answer right away. Then he said quietly, "Because I owe someone. Someone like you." She waited for more, but he didn't explain. He just moved past her. "Stay here," he said. "Don't move." "Where are you going?" "To find out how many are hunting us." "Don't leave me." He paused, looked back, and for the first time she saw something human in his eyes. "I'm coming back," he said. "Don't panic." She swallowed and nodded. But the moment he slipped into the crowd, Mara felt exposed. Vulnerable. Alone. She slid into a corner booth. Her hands shook violently. She clasped the capsule to her chest. A girl from the next booth leaned over, drunk and curious. "Hey, are you okay?" Mara forced a smile. "Yeah. Just, too much noise." "You look like you saw a ghost." "I wish it was just a ghost," Mara muttered. A second later, her phone vibrated. Unknown number. "Where is the capsule?" Cold fear seized her spine. Unknown number. "We see you." Her heart dropped. Mara looked around. The club lights made it impossible to see faces, but she suddenly felt eyes on her from every direction. Her breath quickened. She tightened her grip around the capsule. Another message came in. "Don't run. We're inside." Mara bolted out of the booth. She pushed through the crowd, past dancing bodies, past swaying lights. Every beat of the music felt like her heart pounding inside her skull. "Ginrock," she called. Her voice vanished in the noise. "Ginrock." She felt a hand grab her wrist. Hard. She gasped. But it wasn't Ginrock. It was a tall man with a shaved head, a syndicate tattoo peeking from his collar. His grip was crushing. "Come quietly," he growled. "No," she screamed. He tried to pull her toward the exit. But suddenly a fist smashed into the man's jaw. He collapsed instantly. Ginrock grabbed Mara's arm. "You moved." "They texted me." "Of course they did. You left me. You were supposed to stay hidden." "I was being hunted." "You're always being hunted," he snapped. "That's the point." She shoved his chest. "Don't yell at me." "I'm not yelling." "You're literally yelling right now." He inhaled sharply, trying to stay calm. "Mara." "What?" "Shut up." Then he pulled her behind him as two more syndicate men pushed through the crowd. Ginrock didn't hesitate. He grabbed a bottle from a table and smashed it against the first man's head. With the broken neck of the bottle, he held off the second long enough to kick him into a speaker tower. People screamed as sparks flew. "Mara, move!" Ginrock shouted. They ran for the emergency exit. Ginrock crashed through the door shoulder first, and they spilled into another alley behind the club. Mara gasped for breath. "Where now?" He pulled a small device from his coat, a compact detonator. Away. He pressed it. A tiny explosion went off inside the club, triggering the sprinklers and chaos. Are you insane? She shouted. It buys us 40 seconds. Keep up. They sprinted down the alley, ducking behind dumpsters and weaving around trash bags. Mara's legs burned. Her lungs felt like they were collapsing. How are they still finding us? She panted. They're tracing your phone. She stopped running. Then take it. He snatched it, smashed it against the wall, and kicked the pieces into a drain. Anything else you're carrying? He demanded. No. Good. Don't lie to me. I'm not lying. Because if you are, he said sharply, you're going to get us both killed. She clenched her fist. I'm not. A spotlight poured over them from above. A drone hovered in the air, scanning. Jin-Rok grabbed her waist and pulled her behind a dumpster. Don't breathe, he whispered. The drone's scanner beam swept across the alley. Mara's heart thudded painfully. The drone beeped. Ginrock cursed under his breath. They found you. How? I don't have anything. They don't need anything. They have your face. Her blood ran cold. Footsteps echoed behind them, fast, heavy, close. Jin-Rok's hand tightened around her wrist again. We're running, he said. I can't. You can. Move. They ran again, this time toward the old subway tunnels. Mara could barely see. Her vision blurred. She stumbled and almost fell, but Ginrock kept pulling her. Where are we going? She whispered. A place they won't look. What place? He didn't answer until they reached an abandoned stairwell leading underground. My safe house. She hesitated. Is it really safe? No. Then why? It's safer than here. Move. They descended the stairs into darkness. Above them, the Syndicate closed in. The stairwell smelled like rust and damp concrete. Mara clutched the rail as she followed Ginrock deeper underground. The sound of their footsteps echoed down the tunnel, fading into darkness. Why here? She whispered. Because the Syndicate hates this place, he replied. They say it's cursed. Cursed how? Ginrock didn't answer until they reached a metal door at the bottom. He typed a code, pushed it open, and motioned her inside. People who enter here don't come out. Mara froze. And that's supposed to make me feel safe. He shot her a tired look. If they won't enter, they can't kill you. Move. She stepped inside reluctantly. The door shut with a heavy clang, sealing them in darkness. Ginrock flicked a switch, and dim lights buzzed to life, revealing a narrow room filled with old maps, a desk, weapon racks, and a cot in the corner. It wasn't homey. It looked like someone lived here because they had no other choice. Sit, he said. She sat on the cot. Her hands were still trembling from the sprint, the fear, the weight of the capsule. Ginrock dragged a chair across from her and sat down, staring hard. Hand it over. She hesitated. What are you going to do with it? Make a copy. Then send it to someone I trust. Who? My brother. You trust family? She asked carefully. His jaw twitched. He's the only one I do. Mara swallowed and handed him the capsule. His fingers brushed hers, cold, calloused, steady. The touch grounded her more than she wanted to admit. He placed the capsule into a small reader and connected it to an old laptop. The screen flickered as encrypted files opened. Mara leaned forward. What's inside? Proof, he muttered. Routes, shipments, payment logs, names of buyers, names of victims. Operation details. Enough to burn Gwalrim from the inside out. Mara watched the list scroll across the screen. Male names, female names, ages, some younger than her. Some older. Some unnamed. Tears welled in her eyes. How long has this been happening? Years. And nobody stopped it. People tried, he said quietly. My brother tried. Your professor tried. I tried. Mara stared at him, stunned. You tried? He nodded. The Syndicate wasn't always like this. It used to be just crime, money, territory. But then new leadership came, and they started expanding. Importing people. Selling them. Using them. When my brother and I pushed back. His voice trailed into a bitter silence. What happened? She asked softly. They made him pay. He looked away. And they made me watch. Mara's heart cracked for him. Ginrock. He held up a hand. Don't. Sympathy won't help. I'm not giving sympathy. He glanced at her, surprised. I'm giving truth, she said. I get it. More than you think. My mother was taken back home. Same thing. People disappearing. People promised jobs abroad and never coming back. His eyes softened. That's why you're here. She nodded. That's why I'm here. For a moment, the room felt smaller. Their grief folded into the shadows around them. Then the laptop beeped. Copy complete, he said. He removed the capsule and handed it back. Keep this. If I die, don't let it out of your sight. She shook her head. Don't say that. I'm realistic. I don't want realism, she said. I want you alive. He blinked at her. Something in his expression changed, just slightly, but he masked it quickly. He stood. We need to move again. Already, she groaned. They found your face. This place won't stay hidden long. He grabbed a backpack and stuffed in weapons, small tech, and food rations. Mara stood up, swaying slightly from exhaustion. Where are we going? She asked. To meet my brother. I thought you said he's alive, Ginrock cut in. Just not whole. They damaged him. But he still has enough influence to help us. Mara nodded slowly. Then let's go. He reached for the door. But before he could open it, someone knocked from the other side. Mara's blood froze. Ginrock drew his gun silently, motioning her behind him. She pressed her back against the wall, clutching the capsule. The knock came again, gentle, deliberate. A voice followed. Calm. Deep. Little brother. Open the door. Jin-Rok's hand trembled around his gun. Hunsuk, he whispered. Mara's eyes widened. Your brother is here. That's good, right? Jin-Rok didn't answer. He moved to the door slowly, pressingly. Mara watched fear flicker through his body, real fear, not adrenaline, not the sharp readiness he had shown earlier. This was personal. He unlocked the door. It swung open. A tall man stood there, broad-shouldered, dressed in a dark coat. His face was calm, almost gentle. But his eyes were the eyes of someone who had seen too much. Lived too much. Lost too much. Hunsuk, Ginrock breathed. His brother smiled faintly. You haven't changed. Ginrock stepped back cautiously. How did you find us? I've always known where you hide. His eyes drifted past Ginrock and landed on Mara. And this must be the girl. Mara forced herself to speak. The girl with the evidence. Hunsuk chuckled softly. So blunt. He stepped inside, closing the door behind him. Good. You'll need bluntness to survive. Ginrock didn't lower his gun. Hyung, why are you here? Hunsuk's smile thinned. To help you. You don't help people. I'm helping you now. Why? Ginrock asked coldly. His brother looked at him for a long moment. Because the Syndicate sent me to retrieve the capsule. Mara's stomach dropped. Ginrock's arm tensed, gun lifting higher. Step away from her. Hunsuk raised his hand slowly. If I wanted to kill you, little brother, I wouldn't have knocked. Then why come? Hunsuk exhaled. Because I'm not here to carry out their orders. I'm here to break them. Mara blinked. Break them? Hunsuk nodded at her. That capsule contains proof that can collapse the entire organization. But you need more than proof. You need someone from the inside. He touched his own chest. Someone who knows every name, every shipment, every buyer, every corrupted official. Ginrock's eyes narrowed. Why would you betray them? Hunsuk's voice grew hard. Because they ruined my life. Because they ruined your life. Because they turned us into weapons. His tone cracked slightly. Because they made me hurt people who didn't deserve it. A heavy silence filled the room. Mara stepped forward. Then help us. Please. Hunsuk nodded. I will. Ginrock lowered his gun for the first time. Hunsuk walked to the laptop and connected a drive of his own. I'll merge your evidence with mine. When we leak it, the Syndicate will collapse. But we must be quick. They know you're alive, and they've deployed hunters across the city. Mara's breath trembled. What do we do? Hunsuk looked up at her. We run. We hide. We fight. And when the moment comes, we expose them. Ginrock strapped a gun to his belt. We move now. Suddenly, the lights flickered. Mara stepped back. What's happening? Hunsuk's eyes hardened. They found us. A loud explosion shook the stairwell outside. Ginrock grabbed Mara's hand. Stay close. Hunsuk grabbed the drive and pocketed it. Follow my lead. The metal door shuddered under impact. Mara's pulse raced like thunder. We're not getting out, are we? She whispered. Ginrock looked at her, really looked at her. Yes, he said firmly. We are. The lights went out. The door blew open. Shadows flooded in. And the fight for their lives began. If you want part 2, the sequel, the continuation, just type continue and don't forget. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want more Afro-Korean thrillers like this.